I'm here with my daughter Yanni's friend, Crystal. They always talking crap about me, and they talk about I'm an old man and all this old crap, and they don't understand that old is wise. You know what I mean? Old is definitely wise. So I'm gonna bring her in now, so y'all can see who she is and see what's really going on, because these young people think they got all the answers, but they don't know we created all this.
Mecca what?
At the Mecca. All right, now, Krista, introduce yourself. Tell them who you are and where you're from.
All right. Well, I'm C Boogie Crystal from the Boogie Down Bronx, and sometimes we gotta let Harlem know that we the real uptown. We the real uptown.
All right. Hey, you see how she talking that crap? But she don't understand that Harlem and the Bronx is really one, but Harlem is flyer. So y'all come over to Harlem to go meet a Harlem dude. You know what I mean? And
so there y'all gonna start your stuff.
No, I'm just keeping it. I'm just keeping it 100. Y'all from the Bronx, Brooklyn, Jersey, everywhere. Y'all come to Harlem to meet a Harlem dude. Let's just stop the crap. We're not even gonna play those games. You'd rather a dude from Harlem than a dude from Bronx all day. No disrespect to my homies in the Bronx. Give a big shout out to my homies in the Bronx. Big shout out to my homies in the Bronx. You know what I mean? But we the flyest borough because we that money getting borough. Now, what would you like to ask me?
Well, first of all, why Harlem consider themselves a borough? Like, y'all are in Manhattan. Like, y'all are just one part of Manhattan. I don't get it.
Because we're bigger than Manhattan. We are the world. Let's get that straight. We're the trendsetters. Go to YouTube. Everybody's on YouTube talking crap about dudes from Harlem. First thing they say, dudes from Harlem think they all that. But then they always say, man, let me Google Harlem, see how they was getting money back in the 80s. You know what I mean? Y'all want to know how we live. So we our own borough. You know what I mean? Manhattan is, for no disrespect to Europeans. They did regentrification. They don't brought them uptown, so now they come uptown. And it's funny. Let me tell you a little story, because this is how we going to vibe out. Now, when I went in 1993, there wasn't no white person in Harlem. Let's get that right. Wasn't no white families in Harlem when I was on the street back in the day. Now, little Yanni used to be out there with me. She was about 2 years old at the time. Now, I come home and I go to Harlem. I see white people out there 2, 3 in the morning on Bradhurst, Chinese people. I'm like, what the? Listen, I wouldn't even walk down Bradhurst without my pistol out back in those days. You know what I mean? And now I see little Chinese women, let me say it right, so you don't say I'm nitpicking, because YouTube like to play the little semantics. We see a lot of Asian people out there. You know what I mean? You see Asian people out there 2, 3 in the morning. I would never walk down that block at night without my pistol out back in the 90s. Now I come on 2022, you know what I mean? And I know we in 23, so y'all want to nitpick, but I come home 2020 and I walk down that block and I'm scared to death because I got the memories of what that block persists of. Do you know that those buildings, right? Let me give you a little history, Crystal. Those buildings back in the day, right, was burial grounds, Let's say building, 540. 540, with one crew would put all the dead bodies they had in that building. They kill somebody, they go hide them in the building, put them between the walls or whatever. So how many ghosts is in those buildings?
Nah, not at all. But how would they hide the smell and everything?
Nobody lived in them because they was abandoned. So no one went in there to smell it. But if you go in it, you're going to smell it. It wasn't about hiding it. I mean, some people put it in a green hefty bag. Some people wrap it in a saran wrap. But most of the time they just dump them in there like old cat. You know what I mean? Like old alley cat. But that's because we had no empathy for anyone. You cross our path and try and stop us from getting $1, you lose your life. And now... And I know, you young, so you out there and you know what's going on because you know a lot of these dudes. Do you know that these dudes on YouTube talking about, oh, I'm going to tell on this, I'm going to tell on that. If I get caught, I'm telling, I'm not doing the time for myself. If you even thought that out loud back then, you would kill yourself because somebody will kill you. There's no consequences to telling now. You understand what I'm saying? There's no consequences. Go ahead, sis.
No, because you know what, people are more bold now because they have the platforms to speak. They got YouTube, they got TikTok, they got Live. So people gonna tell because at the end of the day they got a witness. So that whole tattletale culture going on. You got that Karen culture going on. That's what's going on.
Okay, but
so
see,
people are more bold to tell.
Okay, listen. That's my point that I'm making. Like you said, they got the platform to tell. You stand in front of a man's face, you know what I mean, back in my days, and say, I'm telling, and he's killing you right on the spot. And then now you heard about John Blow done got killed because he mentioned that he's telling. You understand? Or John Blow got killed because he went and testified against whoop de whoop. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you know, dudes was getting decapitated for telling. You understand? Now, dudes are getting views on YouTube for telling. That's the difference. You're talking about a platform. I'm talking about real life.
Right.
You understand? In a platform, they get all types of, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm telling. If I get caught, I'm telling. Oh, I'll tell them dead body in a minute. They can't hurt nobody. What they gonna do to me? You know what I mean? But you even say that back in my days, and you're dead. Your family member might even get killed. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what's going on now, and that's what people have to understand, the difference, you know, between the streets, you know, and, you know, living a good, honest life. You know? Don't go on the street and say you're selling drugs or you're doing scamming, but you got a 9 to 5, but if you get caught, you telling because you got a 9 to 5 and you're just a civilian because now it's convenient to claim civilian. You know what I mean? But once you break the law and start scamming or selling drugs, you're no longer a civilian because civilians don't break the law. Right or wrong?
Yeah, yeah.
You
A
understand?
law-abiding.
But
That's what they.
then they have to stay a law-abiding citizen. It's not no 50-50. 1 minute you're a law-abiding citizen, the next minute you this. No, we don't play that. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
But what if I want to make a little bit more bread? Like my 9 to 5 is not pulling in, and I got the resources and the people to sell a little bread. I still want to be a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, but once
That's a bad person.
once you start making that little extra bread, you know what I mean? Because you got the people and you're breaking the law, you're no longer a law-abiding citizen. Because if you get caught, you're gonna get your you know, your punishment for the selling drugs. You know what I mean? So now if you go tell on the person you're buying the little extra drugs from or the little extra something from, you know what I mean? Now, back in my days, they would kill you for that. You understand? But now these days, you tell on somebody that you're getting the little something from, and then they're gonna tell on somebody else they're getting a little something from, and it's a trickle down effect, and you wind up filling the prison system up without even realizing it, when you could have just stayed with your 9 to 5 and cut back on your expenses, saved a little money. You know what I mean? And saved a lot of goddamn time. Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know?
Like I used to watch this show called DEA, right? They just only had 2 seasons. They just cut it off. But it was just a show about dealers, right? Getting caught, and they always start with the small time, you know, the small time dudes, and then they always lead to the bigger ones. And it's a telling system. And you got to how the DEA dudes, they infiltrate like crazy.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Good point. So you fully understand. The DEA, the FBI, or any one of the alphabet boys you want to think about, they could never bust us in the hood on the street because, you know, they have to do work. They can't come amongst us and infiltrate us like that. So what they do is they find a weakling amongst us. Look what they did. Let's take a good one right now. Now we vibing. You know what I mean? Let's give a little round of applause. Let's give a little round of applause. Let's give a little round of applause. There you go. Let's give a round of applause. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to take you through
Mecca what? Mecca audio.
through the Mecca. Now, check. I watched this show since I've been home, BMF. You know what I mean? Now with the BMF joint, I watched the first season. I didn't like it. I think it was crap. You know what I mean? Just the first season. Let me tell you why. You know? I think it was crap because they was talking about Detroit back in the 80s, and they had it too bright and glitzy looking like it was Detroit in 2022, 2023. So I couldn't really get in it because I was in Detroit in the 80s, and it was an ugly mother just like, you know, all the other major urban cities, New York, Chicago, you know what I mean? Even Miami, the pork and beans. Y'all remember the pork and beans in Miami. Big shout out to the pork and beans. Big shout out to the Poker Bean Projects in Miami. All right, big shout out to the Poker Bean Project. Now, when I watched that, it was just too glitz and glamoury. But the dude that was Meech's man, the one that was going with Kato, remember that chick? The girl that was remember he had to kill Kato because Kato was on some bull crap with Lamar. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. So now, remember how thorough that dude was that he went out gangster, and a lot of y'all gonna complain because this is how YouTube works, so you understand. Because I'm just bringing you in. I might even make you my co-host and do a regular with you because you're beautiful. You got a beautiful personality, a beautiful smile, and a good mind, and I love your energy. So now I'm gonna tell you how this works, and we might do this again. Now, Kato, so you understand, Kato was his lover. Remember?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But then Kato crossed the line and violated the code because she was down with Lamar, who was trying to kill Big Meech. Remember?
Right.
So her man, what was her man's name? I don't even know his name because he's a coward and I don't like him no more. I used to like him.
Yeah. I don't remember his name either because it's been a minute. But
Well, that's good. You don't need to remember his name, but go ahead.
it was sad because I was like, damn, they had to kill Kato. But I know why. I knew why. You know what I mean? Like, it had to be done. She was playing both sides of the fence.
You see what I'm saying?
It was so a dangerous game.
Yeah. But see, that's where I'm getting at. Now, he had to go kill Kato because Kato was putting Meech's life in jeopardy and he was Meech's right-hand man. And then remember when Meech didn't want to kill the other dude that the black cop brought to him when they brought him by the thing. And so he walked up and he shot the dude in the head. They threw him in the water and the cop found him. Remember that? You see how gangster he was, right? You know what I mean? But then when he gets caught with the gun and in the first season and it ended with, he told him, all this could go away if you tell on Meech. And he didn't answer for the whole season. That kept us on the cliffhanger,
Right.
Okay, then they come into season 2, and season 2, he decides to work with the cop to bring down Meech, even though he loved Meech and he wanted to be loyal to the street, but he's weak and he's scared to go to jail. Then they try to give you a justification to play it out by showing his mama was in the hospital with Alzheimer's and all these reasons for telling. You know what I mean? When there is no reason for telling. Lil Yanni would tell you, my own mother, my baby, she upstairs. She 88 years old in April. My own mother was kidnapped, pistol whipped, you understand, and robbed because of the drugs that I was selling. Now, when that happened, she never went to the police to tell the police, hey, they kidnapped me, we need your help. Because the police didn't help us get the money to get us in a situation for a nigga to want to come round up, tying her up and busting in the head. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm on the street and I know the rules to the street, and I chose to be on the street at the time when I chose to be on the street. That's why I'm telling the young people like you that it's not worth it, because you have to have no empathy, no compassion, and no emotion towards anything other than survival and getting a dollar. Big shout out to surviving and getting a dollar. Round of applause. Round of applause for getting a dollar. Round of applause for getting a dollar. But that's what I'm saying. You need to get a dollar the legal way so you don't have to put yourself in a situation for them to have to tie your mama up, bust in the head, and pistol whip her, trying to get to the illegal stash that you got because you wanted to do a little something on the side. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I
now,
can imagine what you were thinking. When that shit happened. I couldn't even imagine what you were thinking when that shit happened.
What,
What through your head?
What, my head?
Yeah.
Oh, man, my head was, man, is these niggas crazy? Are they really trying to try me? You already know the rest. But bottom line is, that's what was going through my mind. Like, they got to be crazy. There's no way in hell a nigga going to touch my mama and think there's no repercussions for it. So I guess now I got to show him the wolf. You know what I mean? I had to let the lion out the cage. We ain't going to get into what happened. But let's get back to Meech and Kato. I like to ride. This is the way we ride in Harlem. So you understand why Harlem got more swag than the Bronx. You know what I mean? Because we know how to ride. So,
We got no numbered having asses. Like,
we got a zip
what
code.
the hell is the 5th Ave, 6th Ave?
We got a zip
Yo,
code.
I remember when I first came into Harlem to visit Yanni, right? And she's like, meet me on 42nd and 8th. And I said, where the hell is 8th? I said, look, you Adam Clayton? I said, wait,
No,
that's 7th. That's 7th.
I said, what? I didn't even know.
But that's what I'm saying. Listen. We got our own language in Harlem because we are our own people. You understand what I'm saying? So we don't need to say Frederick Douglass Boulevard, Adam Clayton. We don't do all of that. We just say 7th and 8th. Make it a hell of a lot of sense. Meet me on 7th. You know what I mean? It's just like we don't say meet me on 142nd. We just say meet me on 42nd. Y'all from out in the Bronx or outside of the boroughs that don't hang in the Bronx, y'all would think when they say 42nd, I call and say, where you at? You say, I'm downtown. Downtown where? You know what I mean? 14th Street? You know what I mean? And they'd be like, no, I'm on 42nd Street. Didn't I tell you to meet me on 42nd? Say, yeah, I'm on 42nd. No, you're on 42nd. I'm talking about 142nd. We're in Harlem. What the hell you doing downtown in Midtown?
That's because it's 42nd Street. Did you know who, like, and that's the thing. I had to catch up to the lingo, right? Because I was hanging out with Yanni, like, almost every day. Like, she would come up to the Bronx. I'd come down to Harlem and vice versa. But, yeah, I had to catch up.
But, okay, but keep it 100. You know, Harlem got more swag, right?
You know what it is?
Keep it 100.
If it wasn't for the South Bronx, right? Because if you come to the North Side, it's a little different. But if it wasn't for the South Bronx, yeah,
Where you from?
that's the only way you guys got that edge.
Nah,
That's it.
come on, stop it.
We did hip hop. Where do you think all that style came from?
That's just the b-boy style with the fat sneakers and the laces. But you know, Harlem, we had the Laytons, the Dapper Dans. You know, we created our fashion. Y'all just wore Adidas with fat shoelaces and you know what I mean, and twirled around on the ground and doing windmills and stuff. You know, that's all the Bronx was known for. You know, they started the windmills and all that, but we started the money. You know what I mean? We had the angel dust. You know what I mean? The much better, the do it better, the poltergeist. You understand what I'm saying? We had our stamps on our brand. You understand? And we had a brand, but we just didn't know that we was running an empire at the time. You know, because it just became natural. They dumped a whole bunch of illegal substances in our neighborhood, and then we just, you know, did what we could do with it, and nobody told us what to do with the money when we get it. So, of course, we wanted people to know we getting money, so we wound up weighing it around our necks in the big gold chains or getting a nice fancy whip. You know what I mean? And what I don't like is, I'm glad you went there, because like I said, we just riding. This is how we ride in Harlem. Give it a little round of applause. A little round of applause. A little round of applause for riding in Harlem. Give a little round of applause. You know, we just riding in the conversation. We just ride. Do you know that we used to go in the gambling spots in Harlem and the Bronx, you know, and Brooklyn and all the boroughs? You know what I mean? And even out of town. I don't know how it was out of town. I'm just talking about, you know, up in Harlem. None of the old heads. We go in the gambling spot and we'll put $50,000 on the gambling table and we paying CeeLo. And every man got $20,000, $10,000. Somebody only have $1,000. But it'd be over $100,000 in the dice game. You know what I'm saying? And we getting this from the drug money off the street. The old heads is the one that owned the establishment that had the gambling table, but they never pulled us aside or even told us verbally, yo, you spending $50,000 on one roll of a dice, you could go buy 10 of these buildings. You understand what I'm saying? We could have bought 10 of those buildings, but nobody told us that. Because the old heads were scared of us getting bigger than them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. You know, financial is key. Give me 1 second.
Lord, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There go Crystal. What's up?
No, man, nothing much. Nothing much. I had to talk to my sister. I haven't seen her in forever.
Oh, and why
You
is
know,
that?
you have siblings that just, you know, are in and out, and you don't know what the hell is going on with them. But when you catch them, you got to catch them.
And you
That's
love
what
them to death. And you love them to death. That's what I'm saying. You see what you just said? Now picture this, right? I'm gonna give you a visual real quick. I'm just gonna take this. This is a test run to see, you know, if I'm gonna work with you and Yanni in a regular or not. So I'll give you a test run and see if you can handle it. Now, check this out. You know what this is? Huh?
That's a shot.
That's what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, imagine if, you know, if the government handcuffed you and shackled you and brought you in a room and shackled your feet to a metal pole on the floor, shackled your hands to a metal table on the floor, and then laid out a bunch of big, beautifully colored 8x10 pictures. You know what I mean? And when you look down at these pictures, you see your sister with her brains blown out because she got 2 to the head. How do you think you would react to that? Being that you just talked to your sister. Huh?
I would flip out.
You see?
I wanna find out who's responsible. I want to do harm to them. That's how I would feel, like straight up.
Okay, and
See,
then
one
now,
of the things is, I was born from deaf parents, right? So, like, we had to look out for my mother, we had to look out for my dad, you know, and we had to look out for each other. And we was always the type that we would fight other people who would mess with our fams. Period. Like we would go off. And so, yeah, absolutely, I would go out.
okay, that's what I'm saying. So now, but like, mind you, what I just told you, you
I would
handcuffed
change.
and shackled, you chained.
Right.
You understand? So that's what they did to me. That's how they introduced me that my brother was dead. And the first thing out their mouth is, the fox hunt is over, the nigga is dead. And I gotta sit there and you know how much restraint that took? What they was trying to do was get an emotion out of me.
Right.
You
right,
understand what I'm
right.
saying? But my beautiful mother, big shout out to my moms. Let's give a round of applause for Mama Duke. Big shout out for Mama Duke. Big shout out. All right, calm down, audience. Calm down, audience. Let me do this. Now, check. Mama Duke's always taught me, you never let the enemy see you sweat, and you never let them see you in distress. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to suck that in. I looked at him when they told me that was over. I said, well, nah, he ain't got to do time in your stinking jail, so I guess he beat your ass. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you my brother will go to heaven before you, just from what you're trying to do to me today by trying to break me to get an emotion, because you couldn't sit in my seat and have me show you pictures of your brother dead with his brains blown out and telling you that the fox hunt is over, that the cracker is dead. You couldn't handle what I'm handling. Now take me back upstairs, because you're not even worthy to sit in the same room as me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can we get
go ahead.
that? Can we get an applause for that?
Oh, okay. Let's get a round of applause. Let's get a round of applause. Let's get a round of applause. Let's get a round of applause.
You just said some real shit right there.
You
You
know?
just said some real shit, because, to be honest, who would be in your shoes and still take all of that and not let them see you sweat? Especially with pictures like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know if I would have that much restraint. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay. Now I'm gonna explain to you. Like I said, I keep it 100. You know what I mean? I know. Listen. I know I'm old gangster. Let's just keep it 100. You know what I mean? Y'all hear people say that nowadays, and you think, oh, this and that. But bottom line is, I was raised a gangster. You understand what I'm saying? I'm an ex-gangster now, because I'm trying to save the youth by letting you know, don't put yourself in a situation to have them bring you pictures of your dead brother or sister to tell you that the fox hunt is over. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what
Right.
the moral of this conversation is about. So let's stay on the moral. Because people would misconstrue this on YouTube and think I'm glorifying, glamorizing, I'm acting like a tough guy. No, I'm far from a tough guy. I'm just a man. You understand what I'm saying? So now, after they did that, I told them, take me upstairs. They took me upstairs, and walking upstairs, you know what I mean, takes about a minute and a half. It felt like about 5 hours to get up there, trying to restrain, holding everything in that I'm feeling. The loss of my brother, what they said, what I want to do to the killers, everything else. That minute and a half walk felt like, a 5-hour walk. When I made it upstairs and they took me in that cage and they released me back into the unit, to walk from the front of the unit to my cell was about 10 steps. That was the longest 10 steps of my life, because I thought I was going to fall out and faint. You know what I mean? Trying to hold it in, but all I'm trying to do is get to my cage. You understand what I'm saying? And once I got to my cage, I fell to my knees and I cried like a baby. But I never allowed them to see me cry.
Right.
And I bet you those stinking MFs, you know what I mean? Because we got the youth watching this. I bet you those stinking MFs is watching this and say, I know he cried. Yeah, but your dumb ass didn't get to see it. Because I never let you see me in my weakest moment. You know what I mean? 'Cause that's the way my mama raised me. Could we give a round of applause to my beautiful mama? You know what I mean? I like that. You know what I mean? But that's what it is, man. But I'm just saying all this to let you know that you have to, dehumanize yourself from reality in order to run the streets. So that's why I tell you don't go into the streets because you don't know when you'll wind up in these situations. I met dudes that got, a life sentence, for 2 seconds of their actions. And that was for pulling the trigger and killing somebody. So for 2 seconds, they lost their freedom for the rest of their life. So that's why I say it's not worth it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You getting a little emotional, young lady. Stop the bullshit. Suck it up.
I
Suck it
was
up, damn
thinking
it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let me say that first of all. But it's not really for enjoyment. It's just for the reality that the youth don't understand what's facing them when they decide to go on the street. So that's why I say don't get involved with the crap on the street because it's not worth it. Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
I hear that. But I just think about, the youth, right? Like the teenagers out in the Bronx right now, busting guns right out in the open. 14-year-olds, 14-year-olds getting locked up for shooting and killing over New Year's this year. And sometimes I think about, what if the environment that they were in was different? Like I think about my nephews now, they in the South. And I said, if they were ever up in the Bronx or in the city or in Harlem in general, it'd be different. They'd be busting guns, they'd be selling. And I feel like, that's what they see themselves around. They glorifying the shit now. They rapping about it in music. So I don't know. It's just like, your story is really powerful. And it needs to be told to the masses.
And that's what we doing right now on YouTube. You know what I mean? That's what we doing. Now, listen, life is hard, man. Life is hard. The easiest part of life is death. It's trying to prevent it. You know what I mean? You can lose your life like that. That's why I say it's the easiest part of life because you can lose in a split second. Somebody hit you with a car, shoot you in the head with a gun, stab you in your heart, whatever. So death is the easy part, and that's what I want y'all to understand. Don't put yourself in harm's way to wind up losing your life. And don't commit suicide. Because, suicide is real high right now with the younger people, And I think that's because us elders, me included, I claim responsibility. We didn't take time to sit down and teach the youth, you understand, the lessons that we have learned so that they wouldn't have to physically go through it. So that's why I started this YouTube channel, so I can tell these stories so they understand that you can lose your brother, your sister, your mother could get kidnapped, tied up, pistol whipped. That's what all my stories is about. None of it is to brag. But being that I was 100% committed to the street, because that's the way I was raised, because the people on the streets, they gave me all the knowledge that I needed. You understand what I'm saying? To be a gangster. And that's what I did. You know what I mean? I honored the code that was given to me. So that's why now I'm trying to give you, the youth, and my grandchildren, as well as my children as adults, because I did 26 years away from them, I'm giving y'all the rules and the codes to survive, to go get a 9-to-5, go to school, get an education. I'm so proud of my daughter, Yanni. You know what I mean? I'm sitting in a cage, and from me sitting in a cage, this young girl, this baby that I left behind, was being nurtured into a woman by her mother, because her mother was with me from she was young, and I instilled in her certain things that I tease all the time that I made her. You know what I mean? Give a big applause to me making her mother. Give a big applause to me making her mother. Big applause to me making her mother. Of course she don't like it. She never liked when I said it. I let my daughter know straight up. You who you are because of who I am. You know what I mean? She's who she is because of my genetic makeup and her mother's. But of course mine is more dominant because, I'm the man. You know what I mean? Let's keep it 100. So, you chauvinists could get up there and say I'm a chauvinist. Yeah, I'm a man. And, my genes was more dominant. And I gave her my brains where now she's into all this computer cyber this and cyber that stuff I can't even pronounce. You know what I mean? But she get a nice paycheck and she's surviving and doing good and ain't got to ask me for crap. So I love it. Big round of applause to her paying her own goddamn bills. Big round of applause to her paying her own bills. You know what I mean? But she knows she needs something out there. I ain't getting nowhere near as much as her with that good college education. And that's why I'm telling you youngins to go out there and go get a college education. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what I'm going to do. Krista, I'm really enjoying this. We could be up here for hours, and I definitely would like to invite you back so we could do this so that, you know, because you're real informative and you're intelligent, you know, and you know, how we say back then, you're kind of cute. You know what I mean? So the guys would like looking at you because you're kind of cute. So they see with the little baseball hat looking like you from Harlem. You know what I mean? All you need is your big hoop earrings right now, your door knockers. You know what I mean? You look like a Harlem chick. I might have to even invest in getting you some door knockers for the next episode. You know what I mean? That way you can represent Harlem and stop, you know, telling people you from the Bronx. You know what I mean? Stop telling people you from the Bronx. You know?
Harlem night.
You know? But I'm gonna keep it 100. I love my people from the Bronx because the Bronx and Harlem is one and the same. Let's keep it 100, man. Let's give a big round of applause to Bronx and Harlem. You know, big round of applause. All right, that. You know what I mean? Big round of applause. But you know, because I got good men over in the Bronx and there's good men in Brooklyn and everywhere else. But you know, we all represent our boroughs, and that's all it is. Just a little friendly, having fun. But you know, I'm sure next time she comes, she's gonna drop her hair, show you how cute she is, so I can get some more views. We're gonna use her as my eye candy. Yeah, big shout out to my eye candy. Round of applause to my eye candy. Round of applause to my eye candy. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I know the ladies love looking at my old chocolate ass. You know what I mean? But we want to get a guy something to look at. You know what I mean? And that's where you come in. You know? But now, just so you understand, and you're going to hear this when you play it back.
Mecca what? Mecca audio.
We at the Mecca all day, and we definitely like our gunshots. And don't forget the creators of, you know what I mean?
Ayo.
All right, so now we're going to tap out. So, Krista, you got anything to say? You want to tell them where you at on Instagram? Because you're going to get a lot of followers. Your joint going to go up. If you want it, go for it. If not, let them know whatever you got that you're selling, your merchandise, your book, whatever you're doing. Let them know, you know, where they can find you and all of that if you would like.
Oh, listen. Well, shout out to Harlem, shout out to Bronx. Definitely uptown vibes all day. You can find me at C Boogie 415. That's C Boogie from the Bronx, Boogie Down Bronx. Shout out Yanni's reality TV show review coming soon. All right, and take a look at my small rental business. I got him all over the Bronx.
And where can they find it at in the Bronx?
So listen, beach on the beach, beach on beach.
Say
Airbnb.com /beach on beach.
Okay.
Find it right there.
One more time, real slow, so they can catch it, because we trying to get you that bag. Say it again, where they can find you at the beach on the beach. I think you said .com.
Airbnb.com /beach on beach. That's
Okay.
it.
All right, so now just so you know, she mentioned about Yanni's reality show. I'm going to help my daughter. See, that's what I'm saying. This is where I feel proud. You know what I mean? She always looked down on me and talk crap to me. You know, I'm just kidding. But, you know, I always talk crap to her that she don't appreciate me because I gave her the brain she got. But Yanni watches a lot of TV shows, so her mother was telling her that she need to, you know, do something with that to get the bag. So that's where her father come in. Peter, I got the brains. A big shout out to the brains. Big round of applause. Big round of applause to me having the brains. You know what I mean? Big round of applause. So I'm going to put together a reality show for me and my daughter, you know what I mean? And Crystal, if she'll like to join us. Where the three of us, we'll watch a little reality show, and we'll have the true females tag teaming me, because you definitely going to take two of them to outwit me. You know, where I'm going to give my opinion, you know what I mean, on what it is that I get from the program, and they're going to give their lame, bougie, you know, new generation, you know, opinion. You know what I mean? You know, I got to shoot them a shot. That's what I do. You know what I mean?
Mecca what? Mecca audio.
All right, so y'all tune in and y'all look forward to it. Let me put this little outro up. You know what I mean? I'm running this whole show myself, coming home after 26 years in federal prison. So don't knock me. Just sit back, enjoy the ride, and know that I'm doing what I got to do. I'm just sitting here looking for the outro. Crystal, go ahead and, you know, tell them something about you real quick. You know what I mean? Just to cap out, so the people that might have came in late would know, you know, what it is that you into.
So a little bit about me, like I come from deaf parents. I sign. I'm very, very big on deaf representation. Advocate for those that don't have. And I'm from
a very humble place, right? I love the Bronx. I love my people, and I love spreading love. That's what I'm all about. So that's a little bit about me. That's it.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So now we get ready to tap out. It was a pleasure having Crystal up here. You know what I mean? And, you know, we're going to air this today so that we can, you know, let y'all know what time it is and let y'all into our world a little bit. All right? So peace out to everybody, man. All right?
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Fresh out the can of 26,
Yeah.
He back on the strip, getting back in the mix.
Yeah.
What he mentions a gift.
Right.
You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit.
Yeah.
Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn.
Real.
Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the root men.